Want to help the channel? Go to shopclownfish.com where you can check out official Clownfish TV merchandise in our brand new shop. It helps us out. Also, check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/clownfishtv for more art and gaming live streams that we don't do on YouTube. We want to see you over there as well. Now let's get into the video. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And Disney is broke and they're cutting back on projects already.
Well, we knew they were going to because they said they were going to in the last investors meeting.
Right. And I gotta wonder how many other things are gonna get the chop. They're gonna get chopped
Chop,
before
chop,
they're...
chop. Hoi, choppa. Chop suey.
Okay. What is that?
I don't know.
So we're gonna talk about all the cuts coming to Walt Disney World, Disneyland possibly. I think at this point, pretty much everything is going to be on hold, except for that Splash Mountain refurb that nobody wants.
That stuff is other stuff's being removed or postponed, but that is going to go through.
We got to make sure we get that in there just to show everybody how progressive we are. Even though 80,000 people and counting are saying, or almost 80,000 people are saying, hey, we don't want it. We got to make sure we get that in there. But yeah, so before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're over 125,000 subs, like 126,000. So thank you for the support.
Chop, 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 chop.
Kick, punch, it's all in the mind.
Yeah.
Chop, chop, Master Onion. Chop, chop. Hey, somewhat related, but not really, and we're going to go off on a side tangent here. We went for a walk tonight, and there's wild garlic growing along the walking path.
Really?
Yes, I did not bring any home with me.
How did you know it was wild garlic?
Because our daughter's friend's dad said he got some over there, and he said, did you guys know you have a bunch of wild garlic by your house? I'm like, I did not. And so we went for a walk. I'm like, my God, there's wild garlic.
Well, our daughter's friend listens to our shows sometimes, so hi to T. What does it say?
Hi to T.
We'll say hi, T.
So
anyway,
I didn't bring you any garlic. That would have been kind of like, I could pick flowers and I brought garlic.
Anyway, so what's going on is today they reopened Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
So when people went to Epcot, when you're there now, they have a thing in the old Odyssey restaurant called the Epcot Experience. And in this Epcot Experience, it has a little promo movie about what they're going to be doing with Epcot.
Right.
And then it has some little displays and things of outside of there was going to be a Mary Poppins attraction coming to the UK, Cherry Tree Lane. Mm. There was going to be a refurb of Spaceship Earth, and they're making it from communication to storytelling and IP, and I hated the idea.
Good.
So I'm not, at least but sorry they're not going to do that. Called Our Shared Story. And then there was also this one thing, and it was like a platform garden thing, and it was going to be the festival center. Okay, so people noticed at the film that they removed the Spaceship Earth, Our Shared Story out of the film. They also removed the Mary Poppins part out of the film. Now, they do still have the Pixar Play Pavilion. They do still have the Journey of Water by Moana. Those are still in there. So is the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. So is Ratatouille. Remi's Ratatouille Adventure. That's all still in there, but those things were removed. And then WDW News Today pointed out that the little marquette, the model of this, that was the festival center. That thing. That was going to be a festival center. A lot of people complain it's very much all concrete and hardly any vegetation in Epcot, so they were going to overkill it by making this festival center.
It looks like a giant chia pet.
And see behind it, you can see the concept art. You can see that it was like a multi-leveled,
right?
A place where you can go sit and get cooled off or whatever.
Yeah.
So those things have disappeared. Apparently, Disney has confirmed that the Mary Poppins attraction and the Spaceship Earth are postponed. Yes. I don't think they've said anything about the festival center, but those two things have been confirmed as being postponed. However, they did say that some things might have to be cut to make room for fixing Splash Mountain.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. So this here's what the condition that Epcot is in right now. I wasn't a big fan of the Mary Poppins idea.
I really hated the Spaceship Earth one.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be IP insertion again, because, you know, how dare they. Go down here. I want to show you. Yeah, okay. So this is what Epcot looks like right now. This whole blue line, can you demonstrate, because I can't reach your mouse. This whole line going the whole way around, that is a fence. It goes the whole way up until in front of the big Spaceship Earth ball. This was the spine. This was called the spine of Future World. This is all being torn apart. There used to be a Fountain of Nations in here, over here, and everything else. This is all one giant construction zone. They've closed everything, the stores, Cub Cool, all of it's been closed down to make room for these new things they're adding. And one of the things that were going to be added to this area, I believe, was the festival center that's now probably postponed. So what the hell they're going to put in there, I cannot tell you. But right now they have to do something because it's all torn to pieces. I can't stress to you how large of an area is behind that fence.
Yeah, it's huge. Epcot is just a construction zone right now. It's horrible. It reminds me of how, actually I think it's worse in some ways than Hollywood Studios was, because at least Hollywood Studios, they could kind of section off the construction site.
They kind of built it behind, so it really kind of just wasn't obstructive.
Right, in this case they tore up the whole heart of Epcot to put this big ass festival thing in.
Right now, we can show with your mouse. If you want to go in, you have to come to Spaceship Earth, go around this side, past where the Guardians of the Galaxy is, and around, clear over here to go to Future World. Or you have to come this way, go the whole way around, either to the like Living Seas and the land, or can then come the whole way around to hit these paths to go to the World Showcase.
Yes, it is a colossal pain in the ass, and they tore this up for this thing.
Well, not just that, for several things, but that's one of them.
That's one of the major things they're going to put there. It's in limbo. We don't know, if they're going to cancel it completely.
No, it's not saying they're canceled. They're saying it's postponed.
Okay, I'm still.
This I don't know. They haven't said anything about this.
No,
this disappeared. The marquee, the little model just disappeared.
Well, that tells you what you need to know, because I think this is very expensive. And Disney, look, they're hemorrhaging cash like you would not believe. And I am not convinced that Florida won't shut down again before it's all said and done. Given the number of cases, given the amount of pushback they've been getting from the media, I have to wonder.
Because unless the state shuts it down, they're not going to shut it down.
They might. I don't know.
I honestly, unless the state says you have to shut this down, they're not going to shut it down. I really doubt it. They need the money too badly. If the state mandates it, they will. But I don't think they'll do it on their own. But
I'm talking about the state. Stepping in.
If the state steps in, they're not going to do it on their own. But reportedly, the model's not there. I can't verify this. I haven't been there. I can verify that the movie's been changed because I have a copy of the video up on our site. I can verify that the Disney has said that's changed. But as far as the festival center, that's coming from WDW News today, and I can't verify.
Well, yeah, this apparently is they're confirming that it's paused. And going back to what they've been saying on the forums, we did a video the other day talking about WDW Pro and him saying that Disney is in dire straits right now.
We knew this already,
It's worse than what they're letting on.
Well, they lost, look at this, guys. For several months, they lost the Disney parks.
Yes.
They lost the cruise line, which their cruise line is one of their big ones that they make a lot of money on. And they lost the movie industry.
Yeah.
For 3 months. They have their streaming, but their streaming isn't exactly, bringing like massive amounts of money enough to offset the losses of their parks and the cruise line and the movies, which are their big money makers. So they don't have it, and they're borrowing money like crazy. And I think, like you said, that might be in case they have to shut down again. They have money. I don't know, but they don't have it.
Well, that was one of the original plans was that they were basically preparing to shut down for the entire year if they had to. And Hong Kong is shutting down again.
Right, and that was only for 50 some cases. Florida keeps having record cases. Now there is, if I'm going to be fair, there are some questions going around about are the cases really accurate the way they're portraying them, because apparently there's a couple things going on. One thing is they're reporting the negatives like they should, and so what happens is you think, well, that doesn't really matter, except when they're trying to figure out like increased rates and different rates and percentages, that has to factor in. It messes up the percents. Also, some people are reporting that they were supposed to get tested, felt better, so they didn't go to get tested, and then they get results back, they had a positive test they never took.
Yeah.
So there are some issues with the numbers. We don't know what they are. They could be better. They could be worse. We don't know.
No idea. But there's definitely going to be some massive changes at Disney. We're going to see a streamlined Disney. The closest thing I can think of it hasn't even been on the scale that this has been, is after 9/11. When people stopped traveling, Disney took a huge hit.
Oh, not like this.
Not like this. But they took a huge hit, and that was enough for them to pause a lot of building projects like Pop Century.
Oh, which I still feel bad about. I would have loved to have seen that. They were supposed to be
original
like,
plan for it,
the 2000, what they call those, the golden years or something. That would have been 1900s through 1940s. It would have been super, super cool. And they paused it, and it was like, for a couple times we went there, we stayed at the Pop, and you look across the way, and there was this creepy building overgrown with weeds, and it was creepy as heck. Remember? And that was the show. But they did eventually turn it into art animation when they had more money.
Yeah.
Well, you said about worrying about the Star Cruiser, the Star Wars, Star Cruiser. However, apparently there has been some movement that a couple permits have been filed. One is for something for the Star Cruiser to move forward, even though I'm hearing mixed stories about that because some people said they think that they were taking stuff away from the site. And another one that has been filed was for that Woody's Rodeo barbecue that they're putting in Toy Story Land because they only have that one lunchbox and it really isn't enough for the area. So there are 2 permits that were just filed for those things. So it does sound like they're moving forward on the Star Wars hotel.
Yeah, I think, look, things that can bring in extra revenue, like restaurants and additional hotels, they'll build, but, is there really any benefit to them building other rides or anything like that they can't upcharge?
Well, the DVC, the Reflections, they said it might be postponed now.
Well, DVCs are hard. I mean, they were having a hard time selling the Riviera, I think.
Riviera's ridiculously expensive, and the beds are falling off the damn wall.
Beds are falling off the walls. Maybe, I mean, if nothing else, Disney, maybe they'll slow down and take stock and be like, maybe we just need to do fewer things better than trying to do everything half-assed.
Well, I'm sorry. The prices are the Riviera. I don't think they're worth that.
No, God,
the prices per night for those rooms are ridiculously stupid. You can see that at the Polynesian too. Unless you're a DVC member and you have points, which is probably what they're trying to do. Is the prices are they're just dumb, and it's not worth the prices they're charging.
I mean, Disney apparently can't make up their mind what side of the fence they want to be on because on one hand, they're opening Walt Disney World in Florida despite the media just completely ripping them apart. And then on the other hand, they're like, let's retheme Splash Mountain to be more politically correct, even though literally nobody is asking for it. And in fact, 4 times as many people signed a petition to keep Splash Mountain as is than signed to change it.
Well, it's also interesting to point out that Disney has announced, well, Josh D'Amara said they've been planning this for more than a year, which we've been saying this whole time. We've been saying, hey, this is a new thing. The art's too good. They've been planning this for a while. And that's what it turned out to be. Oh, surprise.
Yeah, so this is apparently still moving forward. I think, look, I mean, there's a couple things going on. One, Spaceship Earth, I think was going to be a much more expensive overlay because everything I heard, they were talking about like making changes to the track and everything.
Well, right. That's what I was hearing. They're going to be taking the vehicles out, putting new vehicles in. It really needs it. I'm not going to lie. Spaceship Earth does need a very lengthy refurb and new vehicles, new track. It needs a better ending. The ending is balls. Yeah. No offense to balls, but it's balls. And, but what they wanted to do to it, from the concept art even, they said, oh, it'll just be a few changes. Well, from what I was seeing, it was a hell of a lot more than a few changes.
Yeah. No, it's definitely going to be pretty extensive whenever they get to it, because now that's been backburnered. Now other attractions that they're getting close to getting done, like Ratatouille and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right, they're moving forward.
Right. Tron, that stuff is going to be done. But again, I got to wonder about the Star Wars Hotel. They didn't even start on Mary Poppins, so that one they can kill.
Right. They said before, and I don't remember if it was WD or somebody else, but it was on Magic. They were talking before that there was a lot of projects that weren't even announced. That now they can just cancel those first because, unless it's something necessary, because no one even knew about it.
So what this is going to do to Disney when they come back is, I mean, whatever they're building now, I'll be honest, I think that's all they're going to be doing for a while. Like, they're going to have to recoup money.
It's going to be 2001 all over again.
Yeah. And it could be 5 or 10 years until we see. Don't expect any more Galaxy's Edge expansions. Don't expect tons of new rides to pop up. It's not going to happen. I think whatever they're going to finish, they're going to finish. And that is going to be it for a long time.
They have a lot of money to make up. Because even 2001 came, they did not take a hit like this.
No, this is unprecedented. I mean, for everybody.
As they keep saying, it's unprecedented.
Yeah, but for Disney especially, I mean, they literally, just had all their money turned off. Like all the spigots got turned off except for streaming and merchandise and stuff like that. But all their major sources of revenue are just snapped away.
Could you imagine if they didn't have the streaming service?
Yeah, well, they went into debt for the streaming service.
They did.
So they might actually
They shouldn't have bought Fox.
If they had not bought Fox and they hadn't gone into debt for the streaming service, they might actually have more money. I'm just saying, they might have been
a lot more money because it was $70 billion.
God, what a waste.
For Fox, so.
Complete waste. So the next thing that's going to happen after this, and I think you'll see more of this after the earnings call, was at August 4th, that they're probably going to start unloading some of their assets they don't really care about.
Sorry, you said, I was just thinking, my mother, she always said about people wasting money. And she's like, you can just give me the money, I'll kick you in the nuts with a steel-toed boot and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, right.
That's what I kept thinking. They could have given my mom the $70-some billion. She could have kicked him in the nuts with a steel-toed boot. It's about the same.
Biggest waste of billions ever in entertainment history. Like, what'd they get out of it? Aliens, which is a dead franchise because they ran that into the ground. The Simpsons, which is 20 years.
They're going to turn that off, and they're already getting rid of stuff because it's too problematic.
Yeah, so I think we're going to see a lot of these shows. I think we're going to see Simpsons and Family Guy canceled for sure because they're already talking about the voice actors and all that. I think Marvel Comics, this might be it for them. They might just start jobbing the comics out.
Well, now they're starting to do things like they have this stupid thing. Remember, like Hasbro has that thing where you can pre-order stuff.
Yeah,
it's like that, but it's like I forget what it's called, Marvel Made. And what they're doing now is they're doing these. They're starting out with a Scotty Young pack for $200.
Oh, the pins, yeah.
You get the pins and a comic book and all this other stuff, and it's limited to so many editions, and they're starting doing this kind of stuff, like these, boxes, and you can buy these extras now to try to bring extra money in while they're not really selling comics because the shops are shut down.
So Kickstarter. Basically, they're doing Kickstarter at this point. So Marvel's,
At least Hasbro had things people wanted.
Yeah. Hey, I like Scotty Young, but this seems sort of desperate to me. And then did you see the comics that Marvel put out with, they didn't have covers on. They just said, coming Wednesday or comes out Wednesday.
Really? No.
Because they're trying to stick it to DC because DC's got the different distribution now. So their books are coming out on Tuesday and Marvel's like, we're going to do it on Wednesday. So they just put a blank cover. I'm like, no.
Wednesday, guys.
Wacky Wednesday.
Wait, they're going to send them a black cover or blank covers?
Blank covers just say it comes out on Wednesday, yeah.
Oh, they have the covers, they're just not showing them?
No, they're covers that actually just have printed on them, comes out Wednesday. Blank cover.
Who's going to want to buy a book that just says comes out Wednesday on the cover?
Back the comeback, everybody.
I mean, that's just like, poking yourself in the eye. You're like saying, you got two eyes, it's not fair, and then poking yourself in the eye and taking one of them out. It doesn't even make sense.
It makes sense if you look behind, like they're like, oh, we're going to stick it to DC and the rest of the people who jump ship from Diamond. No, it's called, those are covers we didn't have to pay for.
Right, but all it's going to do is cut off your nose and spite your face because people aren't going to buy them.
I know. It's bullshit. It's Marvel's.
I just can't wrap my head around this. It's like you like losing money, Disney.
Yes, they do. Marvel's toast because they're not getting new movies for God knows how long now either.
How about you just listen to people like us and just call it a day, and you might get a little bit ahead.
They had their chance.
Listen to the cast members. A lot of times they have really good ideas and you treat them like crap. So, why don't you listen to them, listen to us, and you can get a little further ahead.
There you go. Listen to YouTube. They should. Instead of fighting YouTubers, you should be listening to them.
Unless you're the right kind of YouTubers who they get on board and then you have to say what they want.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Look for some more cutbacks, guys. I think it's going to be brutal. I think after this next earning call, when it comes out that Disney made, I don't even know what to expect because
everything is shut down the whole quarter.
No movies, no theme parks for this entire quarter.
They got a little bit overseas for a tiny bit of the quarter, but they don't own all that.
No, people don't understand. They don't completely own Shanghai and Hong Kong and Tokyo. They license it out. So, it's going to be really interesting. Again, unprecedented. Disney's not used to losing, and I think they lost more than virtually any other company.
According to WDW Pro, it's way worse than they're letting on.
Yeah.
So,
they always put a shine on that turd.
Now more than ever, you need to give us your money.
Now more than ever.
That was their hashtag last year. Hashtag now more than ever on Instagram. Hashtag now more than ever, give Disney money.
Yeah, and they're trying to juggle the money to make sure that people don't get refunds. They just want to roll it over in the next year. So they're making it as hard as possible to get your money back.
You know, if you need a refund because of something, you had to wait for a long time for it to happen.
Till the quarter's over.
They said, just understand. Just understand. It might take a while for you to get that refund.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and more dismal Disney news. I'm sure we're going to be getting a lot of it this year.
And if you want to see the video that what the presentation looked like, if you go to piratesandprincesses.net, you can see the video of the Epcot experience. We live streamed it. It's on there. You can check that out. It actually was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Other than the fact they were going to ruin Spaceship Earth, it was actually pretty cool. So.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.